Lights on. Lights on. Hello everybody, this is me again with another tutorial for Rhino 3D. So the first thing I want to show you today is working with an invisible grid. And I have this file for you, I prepared. It's a building which has many floors, and if you would draw something like this, you would start first drawing the first floor, and then drawing the surroundings, the buildings nearby, and so on. And the next obvious step is that you would want to draw the floor on top of it. And what I have seen is that many users of Rhino, they start placing the next floors or using these copies in a totally unorganized way, so there's no reference at all. And I developed many years ago this system of working with this grid where I have control over the things. I know where the things are located because I always know I'm keeping the same distance. Like if I would move this stair in the right side in ortho mode, let's say 200 units, this stair will be placed in the same location in my next drawing. And the same will happen if I want to make a copy out of these section lines. I will go 30 units and so on. And I would try to keep this order, so I have a better overview of where things are located, especially if I want to transfer information from one drawing to the next one. In this logic, I would also draw parallel lines to have this reference for my sections. You see here, the sections are pretty much placed according to the reference lines. So if I'm drawing a detail section here, this has the same height as in the other drawings. And I would also drag lines from the floor plans and use this information for drawing my elevations. The grid could also be extended to the Z direction, and I show you here. I have these 4 drawings, one on top of each other, and there is a distance of 25 meters. So like this, you could make a diagram of with the orthogonal projection, and if you want to add more floors, you just copy the next one, always keeping the same distance. In this way, you can work in a more disciplined way, I would say, because you see that there's order, and then this also helps you, like I mentioned before, when you transfer information from one drawing to the next one. Now let me show you another example. So here my intent was to create these little paths for little plants, and I would start drawing some lines and then making surfaces and then making a geometry. Once I was happy, I would move to the next iteration, but always keeping this grid. And I show you now how it looks. I think it had 200 units in both directions. And then I would always iterate the next one and the next one and the next one. And sometimes I would even transfer information like lines and geometries and radius from one field to the next one. And I would even get a bit lost and then create these other round geometries, but then I would go back to minimize the design. And what I like about this way of working is that you always have this visual feedback. You know how you started and what was the process in between and how your design is evolving. So this is a very well organized way of working, and it allows you to have a better overview of the process of designing. I would really suggest it for product designers and architects. So let's continue now, and I have this other file where I want to show you the types of selection you have in Rhino. If you go and you see in the lower side of your screen, you have this large tab that says selection filters. Usually it's disabled, but once you uncheck the box disabled, then you can start using it. And it's very simple. If I check the little box where it says surfaces and I go over my screen with the mouse, then I will be selecting only the surfaces. And the same would happen if I select any of these other elements. Like if I go and I select blocks, I go with the mouse over the screen and I see that only the blocks are selected. Then I could use isolate, and I could perform the changes here, and once I'm done, then I type show again. This is one way. The next one would be here. If you go up left in the edit menu, you have this text that says select objects. Then you could go to select curves, and then you have selected all the curves of the drawing. And the same if you go to the extrusions, I have just a few. The same I could isolate, and once I'm finished, I tap show. And a similar one is if you go to edit and then you go to select by object property. Let's go to layer. You have this window there, and if I want to have all the, let's say, all the blocks farming, then I select only those elements. And let me show you another one. If I want to select by color, and now I select this green geometry, enter, then everything that has the same color will be selected. Let's continue and see object name. You have this window and you have the objects that have a name, and in this case I just have a few. If I go and select wall 4 meters, then I only have these walls with 4 meters. And if I go and select by block name, the same, I could just pick these ones for instance, and then I only have these block elements. So that's very straightforward. The last way of selecting things would be by using the command line. So if I type cell, then I have all these types of selections. Let's start with curves. I have selected only my curves. And now let's jump for a few seconds to the next file. If I type cell, and now I wanna select all the hatches, let's say, then I select cell hatch, and all the hatches are being selected. And let's see, I want to select all the dimension lines, the same here. Let's go back to my file, and if I want to select blocks instances, then I have the same, only the block instances are being selected. Let's see one more. If I want to select duplicate objects, well, I don't have duplicate here, but if I would, then I type select duplicate, then I have them. I can erase them in order to avoid duplicates. That's it for today. I really hope you like these two ways of working, this using the invisible grid and using these selection types, and I hope you like this tutorial. If so, please share it. Take care. Ciao ciao.